the best way to understand what I'm about to share is to understand the map of where we're at. There's 7 octaves. The first octave is pure experience. Second octave is symbolic of the baby's first word and play. This is where play takes place. This is where mimicking takes place. Then moves to the 3rd octave, which is where we learn to develop a sense of self, which is where we're more cut out now from experience. We have a self-consciousness, like we get anxious, we get worried about if our hair is going to look good and people are going to judge us and things like that. That's where that begins. That's a teenager. Then we go to the 4th, which is symbolic of becoming an adult. And this is where we crystallize duality. It's where we crystallize the separate self. It's where we crystallize our beliefs. It's where we crystallize the intellect. At this stage, what tends to happen is that we suffer. We desire to remove the suffering. We start self-help. We start maybe meditation, yoga, things like that. Then all of a sudden we think, oh, this isn't enough. Now I need to seek something better. We find enlightenment. And that's the end of the 4th octave. Moving to the 5th. 5th octave is where we then begin to actually start having our first enlightening experiences. And when we have our first enlightening experiences, they feel like we have finished like the path. They feel complete. And then we realize they weren't, however quickly. And this keeps this cycle of seeking going. So in the first 4th octave, there's seeking, but it's material seeking. Then in the 5th octave, it becomes spiritual seeking. So in other words, you don't get to the 5th octave until you've had a glimpse or understanding as to the nature of reality. And that is symbolic of the beginning of the 5th octave. And then what happens is we try to seek the state that we think that we've attained. So I'm either talking to 1 or 2 people right now, either in the 4th octave and you haven't yet had a glimpse, this is still relevant to you, or someone in the 5th octave who has had a glimpse and is in the 5th octave and now is trying to get back to that glimpse, you see? And what happens is we mistake the glimpse for the actual experience of our truth when it's not. The glimpse, the thing we glimpse, the thing that started and ended is not what we're looking for here. So the seeking takes place because we are not used to understanding how to direct the energy of our search towards the actual direction where happiness is. Seeking is the belief that happiness exists in the world. That's what we really want. We don't really care about enlightenment. We think enlightenment will make us happy. We think enlightenment will remove our suffering. So happiness is really what we want. So we're going to use the word happiness. If we believe happiness exists in some form of state of mind or an object in the world to some varying degree, that happiness starts and ends, so we have to get it to start and keep this perpetual state of happiness, then we're going to be doing that for a very long time. And when we believe that that takes place in the world or through state of mind, that's what seeking is. Seeking is the belief that happiness exists somewhere other than where we are. And now we can know this intellectually, but it doesn't stop the mechanism, as you've probably noticed. You've probably noticed that that mechanism still takes place, even though you seem to know the opposite of that. The reason that that happens is because your mind is literally autonomously built to do that. So in other words, you've created the program, whether you did it like or not, just to pretend you did. You created the program that makes you behave in the same automated way, which is to seek happiness outside of you. When this seeking takes place, you can't just someone just can't tell you to stop that. You can't just say stop seeking, right? Because the mind is not going to stop seeking until it's satisfied. To go from the 5th to the 6th octave, which is from where you're at right now, the end of seeking starts at the end of the 5th octave. And it ends because you convert the energy. So you have an energy right now that's taking you in one direction. It's taking you into the world. All you have to do is direct that energy inwards. Now, what does it mean to direct it inwards? It means instead of using this energy in order to get more knowledge and remove your suffering, which is the primary essence of seeking, you're now going to have fun, right? You're going to do things that you find fun, not do things out of discipline because I need to get rid of my suffering. Do things because you find it fun, and you're going to do it in order to remove knowledge. So you're going to stop trying to collect knowledge. You're going to start listening to knowledge that removes knowledge. That's how you make that transition. And you're going to come to a conclusion that you don't know. I know for some people that's hard, not knowing, but I think I do know. No, I don't think I know, but you do secretly know. This is such a nuanced, technical little situation that you might find yourself in. Because on one level, you think you don't. One person might think they don't know, but secretly they believe themselves to be a separate self. Like they do actually know, like they think they know, but they pretend that they don't know because they think that's more noble or something. But secretly they think they're a separate self. Or the alternative is like, oh no, I know that I'm infinite. I know I'm God. I know I'm the nature of reality, but I still behave and act like a separate self. So it's like one belief believes they're limited, doesn't believe they know anything and then acts limited. And one believes they're infinite and acts limited. Do you see what I mean? It's an interesting thing. So you have to come to the conclusion that you don't know. That's the only real way to open yourself up to the next octave, which is where, you'll be naturally moving to next, whether you like it or not. So to cooperate with this is what I'm sharing. Now, how do you make that transition from the fifth to the sixth octave? You have to convert the energy from seeking to adventuring. So you can't just stop the energy. Your desire for truth is very pure. It's not going to disappear. And for as long as you're making that having that energy, you can't just stop it. You see, you can't just get enough realizations that it just stops because it doesn't. No, it doesn't work that way. You must seek to understand, because that's your desire for truth in action. Your liberation in action is your desire for truth. So your desire for truth will carry you, but you have to notice, this is the key in this video, you have to notice when your desire for truth is actually a desire for truth over a desire for truth so that I can remove my suffering. Because you could watch my videos or whoever's videos and think, I'm listening to this because I desire truth. But secretly, you're watching the video because actually, on an ultimate level, you believe that truth will remove your suffering. So in order to be open to truth, you must not listen to truth in resistance. You can't listen to truth in the resistance to it, because resistance to it being, if you listen to it to remove your suffering, that's what will prevent you from actually hearing it. So you convert this energy to, I do not know, and I'm okay with not knowing. And not knowing is a playful place to be, because that's where I was like when I was in my second octave, which is play and curiosity and adventure and not knowing and being curious and learning. The learning we do now, learning from the second to third, fourth octaves is gaining knowledge. Now we're learning to remove knowledge. So it goes up before it goes down. And you're on the downward spiral right now, which is removal of knowledge. And the removal of knowledge comes through the path of understanding. As a child, there's no understanding. Don't do this because of that. Okay, I don't understand why, really, but I'll do it anyway. Be this because of this. Okay, I kind of get it, but I don't really get it, but I'll live that way anyway. A lot of it is built on knowledge and not actual understanding. You see, we're told things, but we don't experientially understand why. So now the path is to experientially understand why. So this whole other end of the path is about understanding, which removes knowledge, which is your path to the sixth, seventh, and eighth octaves. The eighth octave is when you blend and merge the whole octave system together. It's just the transcendence of it, you could say. The seventh is where we finally ground this understanding on the ultimate level, on the absolute level, and the world is where we bring in the relative, the eighth move, which is actually, the eighth is actually the first again. So to end seeking, you don't have to have technically found something, you just have to come to a complete understanding that you just do not know. It's a not knowingness rather than I've got the knowledgeness, you see? And as long as you have the not knowingness, you can convert the energy to go up. This is symbolic of the Kundalini awakening, which comes from the root to the top. If you go from the root to the root, you keep doing things to get more knowledge, remove suffering. This is all lower vibrational chakras, right? When you desire truth, truth is impersonal. Lower three chakras, personal. Truth is impersonal. It means there's no reason that you want truth. It doesn't come from a separate entity. You see, the separate entity can't, I want truth. Why? I don't know. I just do. There's no real reason for it. It's a causeless desire, meaning it doesn't have any personal gain. So when we go through that process, it's very natural to notice when you use things, to remove things. Now you just notice when you're doing that and you convert the energy to truth instead. I cannot fathom how important that is. It's so, for the seeker, this doesn't sound good. It might not sound charming. And it's so interesting because it is the only way to move forward. So if it doesn't sound charming to you, it's probably because you're at a lower level of the fifth octave and there's a couple more stages of knowledge that you're yet to see yet, or maybe you're listening to this in order to remove your suffering. But if this feels true to you, I have a community where you can make this transition properly. The link is in the description for that. I would love to see you there. This is where the seeking actually ends and adventuring begins. So the energy doesn't change, doesn't disappear. It's the same energy. Hi. It's the same energy, but it's converted into, you could say, liberated energy. The same energy is trapped in the lower three chakras, symbolically speaking. When you desire truth, it's the same energy, but the desire for truth is just directional. It's intentional. You see, the energy moves intentionally and intentionally, basically. It goes into a level of liberated energy. The energy's stuck. When you're trying to remove suffering, it's the same energy, but it's stuck. When you desire for truth, the energy can rise. That's when you actually are open and receptive to everything. That's pure learning. So you don't remove the seeking energy. You convert the seeking energy into its natural rhythm, into its natural form, which is simply a raw, organic desire for truth. I hope this video was helpful. Links in the description to join the community. If you like my videos, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.